I'm Jenny Anchondo. I'm here as your host and moderator for this session. And listen, today we are focusing on entrepreneurial resources that matter with a senior director at the DEC network. So I'm going to get into what that is and who she serves and who she works with in just a moment. So let me tell you about Tarsha Hearns. She has her MBA. She is a nonprofit leader, a seasoned entrepreneur with a passion for supporting small businesses. So I mentioned the DEC network. If you're not in the Metroplex, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you may not be as familiar, but this is an incredible resource for entrepreneurs. And she has really been at the helm, not just there as they've been existing, but throughout their expansion. She helped to launch this $2 million entrepreneur center at the shops at Redbird. So again, if you're not local, you might not know what I'm talking about, but it really is a huge deal. She is widely recognized for her achievements and contributions to the small business community. She has received numerous awards for her entrepreneurial endeavors. She's also kind of known affectionately as the marketing lady. So I could go on and on about Tarsha, but she has this really robust presentation both this week and next week. So I will let her go into entrepreneurial resources that matter. And I'm going to mute myself, Tarsha, and I'm going to be here as a participant along with everybody else. And then I'll meet you on the back end to do a little bit of Q&A. Take it away.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. And, I have had a long-time partnership with SARE National and have been doing these types of webinars with you guys for a few years now. So I just want to say thank you for the partnership. Thank you for allowing me to share resources to your entrepreneurial network. Now, Jenny did talk a little bit about the DEC network. We are a nonprofit organization, and our goal is just to fuel innovation and foster economic growth, but also doing that and building a diverse and equitable ecosystem for entrepreneurs across the region. We, as a nonprofit, just last year, we actually were able to give out $135,000 in grants to many of the entrepreneurs that we've worked with last year. We host a ton of events. So sorry to those of you who are not in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but last year we had 51 events, whether that was Dallas Startup Week, networking events, mentor connections, just all kinds of resources for our entrepreneurs. We have a mentorship program, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later, as a resource. It's absolutely free. And last year we connected over 1,500 people for our mentor connections. And just, read the stats here. We do a lot of things. We have a lot of resources for our entrepreneurs. And we have 2 actual co-working spaces in the DFW area. One in Dallas, the one that Jenny talked about, the 20,000 square foot amazing space that you have to come see here at Redbird. And then one we have in Fort Worth, on the south side of Fort Worth. So definitely encourage you all to come check us out. And whether you check us out here in Dallas or in Fort Worth, we have tons of resources for you. So what am I going to talk about? I'm sorry, I skipped the slide, but those are the things that we offer. But I'll just kind of share some of the things that we're going to talk about as you read that slide around what we offer here for entrepreneurs. Is resources. I've been an entrepreneur myself, and I remember 20 years ago when I first started my business, I was searching all over for resources. Now, I say 20 years ago, so that was right when the internet was starting to boom. So we still actually had yellow pages back then. So I know some of you can remember that. Some of you are like, what is a yellow page? Do you mean a piece of paper that's yellow? No, I mean, it was the actual business directory. And so back then, I was going all over the place trying to find resources And so today, that's what we're going to talk about, because you can Google, you can go to TikTok, you can go to YouTube, and there's all these people talking about all these different resources, and it could become overwhelming. So I'm going to do my best to kind of streamline it, share with you what resources are available in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you're not in the DFW area, I do have a few national resources that you can tap into based on where you might be located. But before we talk about resources, I do want to share with you some of the barriers to growth. And as I go through these barriers to growth, I want you to start thinking about yourself, thinking about your business. And then I want you just to jot down if any of these barriers resonate with you. Jot them down, because then I'm going to talk to you about what resource you need to go to. Who do you need to talk to in order to overcome those barriers to growth? So many business owners struggle to scale their business. Some of the reasons why. Now, I, again, have been in business, so I have made all of these mistakes myself. So I'm not just pulling stuff out of the air. These are mistakes that I made and barriers that I had as an entrepreneur, but also because I see entrepreneurs on a day-to-day, whether that's mentoring them, counseling them, or connecting them to resources. These are some of the things I hear day in, day out. Lack of clarity and vision for your business or strategy for your business, right? So how can you scale and grow if you don't even know where you're going and how you're going to get there, right? So again, if this sounds like you, jot that down, because I'm going to share with you a resource. Insufficient capital. It takes money to make money. You may have bootstrapped your business thus far, but in order to get to the next level, that might be opening up a second location. The next level for you might be hiring more employees or your first employee. Whatever that next level is for you, you need capital to do that. And unless you have that capital, it's going to be difficult to scale and grow. So I'll share some capital resources, and I highly, highly advise you all. I know some of y'all are on the background working, checking your email. You might be on TikTok or Facebook, doing all kinds of things while this is going on. But I'm telling you, you need to really tune into what I'm saying, because I have one funding resource that I'm going to talk to you all about, and you have to pay attention. You have to listen, because otherwise you're going to miss it, and you might miss out on an opportunity to get a $10,000 grant for your business. So make sure you're listening, get your notes, and all that. So the next barrier is ineffective leadership. Now listen, I don't know everything, right? I'm an expert in marketing. I'm an expert in small business, entrepreneurship, and many of you are experts in the service. You may know how to do accounting. You may know how to do landscaping. You may know how to do construction. You may know how to advise clients on legal matters, right? And that is a great skill set. But when it comes to leading your business and your staff and employees, some entrepreneurs struggle in that area. So it is important, in order to get to the next level, you got to be the captain of the ship, right? So that means you have to show up as a leader. Scalable systems. Now, I tell you, not everybody understands how important it is to have a really effective back-end office. And so what I mean by scalable systems, I mean your invoicing. How do you do invoicing? Is your invoicing tied to your bank account? How do you manage your customer information through customer relationship management tools, right? You got to have systems on the back end that help streamline your operations so that you are able to scale and grow. and ineffective marketing and sales strategy. At the end of the day, you need money to get the customers, right? So you got to get the money to invest in marketing and sales. And when you do that, you acquire customers. And when you acquire customers, you increase your revenue. When you increase your revenue, you can expand and grow. Hiring and retaining talent. This is like a challenge, I think, in this day and age, because it's just difficult to get really good talent and then have the affordability to pay them to retain them. So we'll talk about some of the resources that may help you with these barriers. So before we do that, I'd love to hear from the audience. Just in the chat, if you can, and Jenny, if you can help me out, just put in the chat some of the barriers that you feel prevent you as a business owner from scaling. And then Jenny, just read some off to me. Any of these barriers, even if the barriers aren't listed here, what might be some barriers to preventing you from scaling and growing your business?
I haven't heard from them, but I put time, just having the time to do it.
Yes.
Maybe finances, financial resources, money. Isn't that always the answer?
Yeah, money is always the answer, but time is a good one. I need to add that on because I need that too. It's like I need at least 2 extra hours in the day and then I'm good.
Me too.
So time, absolutely, because you're a business owner. You're running your business, you know, during its operating hours, and you're in the weeds of things. And that's kind of goes back to that leadership, right? You're so focused on the day-to-day, you know, serving the clients and doing the service that you just don't have the time to step back and plan for growth. So it's important, in order to grow, you do have to make the time. Carve out, you know, 2 to 3 hours a week to focus on scaling and growing your business. So thank you. So let's talk about some of these resources. The first resource I'm going to talk about is really available all over the country. I'm going to focus on the Dallas area, but the areas all over the country also offer the same resources. And that resource is the Small Business Administration. So you want to go to sba.gov. And when you go there, there's going to have a box. They'll have a box where it says, put in your zip code, and you will find your local SBA office. If you're in the DFW area, it is located in Euless. And so some of the things, the resources that you can get from your local SBA, highly recommend you go to the link that you see there at the bottom of the page, because you'll be able to access this business guide. But depending on what stage you're in, whether you are in the early stages and you have the idea and you want to come up with a plan or a strategy, you see Plan Your Business. They have articles, templates that you can download, webinars that you can take. Perhaps you have gotten past the idea stage and you're ready to turn that business into a reality. And you're like, okay, well, how do I actually set this up? You're in the launch stage. And these are the types of resources here. Oftentimes people will, first thing they'll do, they'll register their domain name because they want to save that. That should be on this list as well, even though it's not here. But if you have come up with your business name, you want to make sure that that name, you know, nobody else in the county or the city has it, and that you can actually register it. You want to make sure that you can get that URL, because sometimes that URL may not be available. So in that launch stage, even the idea stage or launch stage, you want to make sure you do that. Maybe you're already in business. You've been in business for a while and you have those barriers that we talked about. You want to go to manage your business, because that's where we're going to talk about, or SBA will give you articles, templates, you can watch videos on managing your finances. Remember, one of the barriers was lack of talent and retaining talent. Well, you can find resources on this site around hiring and managing your employees. Tons of great resources. Highly recommend you go, again, carve out that time to find the resource that's going to really help you scale and grow your business. And then finally, maybe, business is really good and you're looking at, hey, I need to expand locations. Maybe you're an online business and you want a physical location. Maybe you want to sell your business and you're ready to exit. That's the column of resources for you. And again, if you're not in the DFW area, simply go to sba.gov, put in your zip code, and a local resource will show up for you. So I will keep it going because we do have a ton of information. And I kind of wanted to break it down, what the different resource centers that the SBA offers. Again, the link to the DFW area resources are at the bottom of the screen. But again, across the country, you're going to find these types of centers focused on providing resources to entrepreneurs. Now, many of you probably was like, oh, I've known of SCORE. I know of SBDC. I know of VBOC. That's great. This is a great refresher. This might be a sign that you may need to go revisit that resource, especially if you jotted down some of those barriers to scaling and growing. So SCORE stands for Service Corps of Retired Executives. And that's exactly what it is, a group of retired executives who have been volunteering their time to mentor and give advice to entrepreneurs. It's free. They assist all stages, and they can help you with things like business plans, marketing plans, or just some general advice if you're like in that idea stage and you're not sure if it's a viable concept or not. SBDC stands for Small Business Development Center. Small Business Development Center. Again, all of these resources are free. You can get counseling. You can go to classes. Some of the classes are online. These are actual staff, experienced staff. So you won't necessarily meet with volunteers. These group of individuals, it is their job to provide support and training to you. They help businesses at all stages, but they really do prefer to work with those that are existing businesses. The majority of their resources are focused around existing businesses. So that means they can help you with growth strategies. They can help you with cash flow and financial management, help you with personnel management, as well as help you get access to the funding resources that you need. And then finally, we have VBOC, Veterans Business Outreach Center. Obviously, this is for our military veterans, active duty military, as well as their spouses who are interested in entrepreneurship or business ownership. They assist all stages, and one of the signature programs that they offer is called Boots to Business Program. It is a program for whether you're active duty military or a military spouse, but you are in the process of starting your business. It's a course over several weeks that they put you through various curriculum. It's almost like a boot camp. And then they provide you with business counseling from people who are experienced in the field. So tons of resources here. I might be going a little bit fast, but if, you don't necessarily have to wait till the end to ask a question, but if you have a burning question about anything I've covered thus far, feel free to put it in the chat and I'll do my best to address it. So what I've done is I've broken down some of these resources. I'm a very visual person and I needed to have like a roadmap, because I know there's so many people on this call. Many of you are in different stages of business, and it's kind of important for you to know what local resource should I tap into based on the stage that I'm in? Now, these are some very helpful slides. I'm not going to go through every single organization here. The SARE team will email you the slide deck, and I would recommend that you start researching some of them. But I'm really just going to touch on a few that I've highlighted here. I've already talked about SCORE, Service Corps of Retired Executives. If you're in that stage of, I have an idea, I have a concept, I need someone to help me validate that idea. I need someone to help me build that concept out. SCORE is perfect for you. They are there to really help you with that business plan, help you flush out that idea. They can also connect you to some resources as well. Ascend Dallas is a nonprofit organization that takes a holistic approach to supporting women. And one of the areas that they support women in is starting a business. They have a really good program. It's absolutely free that you can take, and it really teaches you the basics of starting a business and help you determine if entrepreneurship or business ownership is for me. Urban Specialists is another one of those organizations. It's a nonprofit. They like to focus on those lifestyle type businesses. So again, if you are a barber or a hair salon, if you have a nail shop, solo business, those are the types of businesses that they really like to help and support. Again, mentorship, they give you business education, and I believe they even do pitch competitions where you can win. Yep, money is always good. So definitely want to check those things out there. And again, many of these resources, you can Google them. They're right here in our backyard. Next stage of business is launch. So you've gotten through the business idea, the business plan, you've received some support from SCORE or Ascend Dallas. And now it's like, hey, I need to start generating some revenue, or I need to grow my revenue a little bit. Impact Ventures, this organization focuses on the consumer packaged goods types of businesses. So if you have, candles, soaps, if you've made a product, right, and you want that product to be on a retail shelf, you want to get with Impact Ventures because they're going to walk you through the process. And not only are they going to walk you through the process of how to develop your product and help you get that product in retail, they also are going to give you funding options as well. So definitely check that out. Founders First, they actually they have these programs that focus on businesses who are, generating 50,000 or more in revenue. They have a business accelerator. And then at the end of that accelerator, there is a pitch competition where you could win cash prizes. So I'm going to be talking about money throughout this conversation. That's why I said, hey, if you're on TikTok or Instagram and you're scrolling, it's time to stop because you might be missing out on some helpful information to help you with your business. The DEC Network, that's us, right? If you're in the launch stage, that's our sweet spot, right? We have a lot of partnerships. So when we do get businesses that are, or people that are in the idea stage and they, haven't launched that business yet, we literally refer them to some of our partners that's in that idea stage. And then once you get past that stage, we'd love to support you. And the way that we support you is through our mentorship, our co-working, connecting you to other resources. And I'll share more about those as well. People Fund and Lift Fund are both nonprofit lenders. So again, you may need inventory. You may need working capital. These are the resources that you want to tap into at this stage. Growth stage. Woohoo! This is a good stage to be in because you are making some good money here, or you should be making some good money here. So some of the resources locally that you want to tap into, BCL of Texas, they are a nonprofit lender as well, especially if you are in the construction, the housing industry. BCL and True Fund, they love working with businesses that are in construction, housing, transportation. So if you're in those types of businesses, BCL and True Fund are great resources for you. Now I have Goldman Sachs, and you're thinking, Goldman Sachs, isn't that like an investment firm? Yeah, but they also have this program called 10,000 Small Business. And their goal is to help, and this is a program that's across the country, but they want to support 10,000 small businesses with training, growth planning, and growth strategies. Again, this is for those businesses that might be generating at least $100,000 a year, right? Because this stage is all about growth, and they have experts, and it's free. It's absolutely free for you to participate. There is an application process, though. You have to fill out the application. There's an interview process, and this program is very intense. So if you're not serious about growing your business to a 6-figure business or a 7-figure business, I would tell you don't try that program, because you got to show up, you got to do the work, and when you do, you'll have some amazing outcomes. A lot of times people don't think about the certifying agencies and getting their business certified to do business with local, state, and federal government. The reason I put certifying agencies, and there's about 5 of them, the reason I put certifying agencies is because when you're at the stage where you're trying to get those 6- and 7-figure contracts, it's time for you to do business with the government. And if you are a woman or a minority, they do have some set asides. Now, I know you might be saying, now, isn't there some lawsuits out there because, there's groups targeting women and minorities? Absolutely. But that doesn't stop you. Keep going, keep finding those resources, get certified. Do not let that stuff stop you or prevent you and your business from growing. Certifying agencies like the North Central Texas Regional Certifying Agency, North Central Texas Regional Certifying Agency. If you're looking to do business with local government, City of Dallas, City of Garland, City of Fort Worth, DISD, FISD, the school districts, right? You want to get certified with them. The Minority Supplier Development Council, the Minority Supplier Development Council. Again, if you're looking to do business with major corporations, you want to get certified as a woman or a minority-owned business. So look up those certifying agencies so that you can go through that process. Now, this is not free, but it's a very nominal price, and it's only you only have to pay it, every year. And of course, you have your local chambers, right? You have the Greater Dallas Hispanic Chamber, the North Dallas Hispanic Chamber, the Urban Hispanic Chamber. You have all these different types of chambers in the area where you can get connected to corporate resources and growth-oriented resources as well. And of course, here at the DEC, we can connect you to venture capitalists, angel investors, as well as mentors that will help you get on that growth track. So let's see if I can get a little bit of participation from you all. I want to know who's been listening, who actually put, if you were scrolling on Facebook or TikTok and you heard me and you put your phone down, I want you to put in the chat, put in the chat, what stage of business are you in? Are you in the idea stage, the launch stage, or the growth stage? It would be helpful to know, just so I know, who's on the line. What stage of business are you in? Idea, launch, or growth?
They're being shy today, Tarsha.
They're being shy. There's like, this is,
I don't think it's because I don't think they're scrolling. They're just tuning in. They're like, oh,
This is so
sometimes
much,
it
they're like,
comes
this is so
toward the
much
end.
good information. And they're
It's
taking pictures of the screen. I know, I do it too.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
they're like,
exactly.
oh, this slide looks interesting. Let me take a picture. I got it.
I would say when let's see, launch. Yeah, I was, yeah, I got one message on launch, another message on launch. So I would say we can go forward assuming that that's sort of the majority, but if it's not, you guys go ahead and say something.
All right. Well, for those of you who are in that launch or growth stage, here is an opportunity for you. This is, I mean, again, I told you got to pay attention. If you scan the QR code, just put your phone to pick it up, put your phone to open up your camera, scan it, wait till that little yellow orange little button shows up, click it, and it's going to pull up the Verizon Ready Small Business Grant Program, right? So here's what you have to do. I mean, this is pretty much easy money. Again, you have to show up. It's not guaranteed money, but all you have to do is scan that QR code, join the Digital Ready for free, and complete 2 of the courses that they have online. Once you register, you got to register first, because if you don't register, they're not going to be able to do anything for you. But register, go through the list of courses. They have on there the courses that qualify for this grant, or they have a list of events that are taking place. I don't know if there's some events going on here in the DFW area between now and June 20th, 28th, but take the 2 courses. And after you've taken the 2 courses, you want to apply for the $10,000 grant. Now, the deadline to apply for the grant is June 28th. So what does that mean? That means you need to sign up today and go ahead and get your 2 courses out the way and then apply for the grant, right? All applicants are going to be notified whether they've been chosen to receive funding. So this is like a first come, first serve until they run out of money. So I highly recommend, again, put your phone down, scan that QR code, and go ahead. You know what? I give you permission to go ahead and fill this out while I'm talking. I don't want you to miss out on any money. So don't say, right. I don't want you to say, well, I wanted to wait until the end of the web. No, go ahead and do it. We're going to send you the slides. I'm sure this is recorded. Go ahead and get your money.
And yes, it is recorded.
Yes, so you'll be able to go back, but go ahead and scan that link there. And I believe the link to it was also put in chat. So you have an opportunity to get that started and going. And that application is short. I filled it out myself. It took me like 5 minutes or less. So you could probably have that filled out by the time this is over. So let's talk about mentorship. This is what the deck does really well, right? We love working working with seasoned entrepreneurs and executives who are willing to share their expertise with our network of businesses. And Tina Hernandez, she is one of our deck mentors. She shows up, she volunteers, she helps our members, especially around finances. Remember, one of the barriers to scaling is lack of capital, poor leadership. And so if you're trying to make that 6 figures, you want to sign up to be a mentee with a deck and get mentoring support. So mentorship is so important. I know y'all are filling out that application right now, but for those who may be finished already, if you have a mentor, I want you to put yes in the chat. If you have a mentor, put yes in the chat, because I know you understand the benefits of having a mentor. You have experience, guidance. They're bringing valuable expertise to the table. My recommendation would be to find a mentor who is strong in an area that you are weak. So if you're not so great at marketing, find a marketing mentor. If you're not great at operations, find an operations mentor, right? Don't find a mentor who is at the same speed or level you are. You're trying to level up. So you need to get connected with someone who can bring that experience to the table. Having a mentor also means that they probably already have well-established networks and they can introduce you to resources and build a connection. Now, I know mentorship is there to kind of help, the mentor is there to help the mentee, but this is a mutually beneficial relationship, right? They're going to be pouring into you and exposing you to their resources and their networks. It's really critical that you show up and reciprocate. Maybe your mentor might need something that you have access to. So focus on building that relationship and building trust. And once you do that, they will open up their network. They will introduce you to. They will help you build the social capital that you may not have right now. One of the things that I loved about having a mentor myself is the accountability. I sometimes can have a ton of stuff going on and I can do this thing or that thing. And then next thing I know, I haven't finished something I started. Or I've said to my mentor, I really like to do XYZ, and I never get it off the ground or do it. Having a mentor is like a support system. They encourage you and they help you to stay focused as well. And of course, just having a whole different perspective, someone who's been there, done that can tell you, hey, these are some of the things that you want to avoid as a leader. These are the mistakes I made in managing my business. So it's really good for having a different perspective as well. So the DEC Network, we have a very robust mentorship program. You can scan that QR code. If you want to be a mentee, scan that QR code. If you want to be a mentor, if you're interested in being a mentor, just put in the chat mentor, and I will make sure that you get the information to sign up to be a mentor. So mentors provide hands-on aid to help the entrepreneurs. They are providing resources. We host these mentor-mentee networking events. We call it our matchmaking events because if it turns out to be a relationship match, that's not what we intended, but we do try to match you up with the right type of mentor. So we have these little networking events with the purpose and intention to match you with the mentor. And so the types of mentorship you could receive is one-on-one, either it could be 3 hours. You can have a 3-month mentorship relationship, 6-month or 1 year. Our mentors host office hours. So we have 2 locations. And each location will have mentor office hours. So that means that, let's say, I can't remember with like Mondays between 10 and 2 might be the mentor office hours, and you're able to come and meet with them. And then many times if you sign up for one of our cohorts or cohort programs, you will automatically get matched with a mentor by being part of that program. So if you need a mentor, if any of those barriers that I talked about earlier are preventing you from scaling, you may want to start talking to a mentor. Scan that QR code, get connected so your business can scale and grow. So this last section, I'm almost finished and we'll have some time for questions. But I'm just going to kind of breeze through this section because these are a whole bunch of websites. And again, you're going to get the slides. So you will have the opportunity to check these websites out yourself. One very good resource that we forget is available, and that's the library. Did you know that on the 5th floor of the downtown library, the Eric Johnson Central Library, the 5th floor is all about small business resources, and they actually have a small business center on the 5th floor. What could you get by going there? They have small business events. They have small business resources. So whether you need to know more about your target audience, you might need to know about your competition. The library have access to databases that we normal people would normally have to pay for. Or if you have a library card, you can go up to the fifth floor and they have a specialist on the fifth floor that is specific to small business resources. Also, the city of Dallas, they actually have funding opportunities for you. So I really encourage you to visit that fifth floor of the library. Schedule an appointment with one of the resource advisors and learn about the opportunities that the city has. Maybe you're at that growth stage where you're trying to grow your team and you need workforce and talent, but you don't really know how to do that. They can help you develop your workforce talent through the resources that they have there. And you might be ready to do business with the city of Dallas. So they can help you with the various procurement resources. So earlier I talked about getting certified as a woman or minority owned firm so that you can do business with these cities. That's kind of the first step. The second step is to visit this fifth floor of the library and learn about the city's procurement. So the city has to buy food. The city has to buy paper. The city has to get its lawn cut. So they have to buy stuff. And if you have something that they buy, you can sell it to them. And you want to know about the procurement opportunities. There's the website below. Go to that website. They have a contact us form, reach out to them, or just simply stop by the library during its open hours. Again, lots of resources. I'm not going to go through them all, but if you are looking for funding, show me the money. Debt financing pretty much means you're wanting a loan or a line of credit. These are some local resources that is not a traditional bank, right? So if you need a loan or a line of credit, these listed here are not traditional banks, but many of them are what we call community financial development institutions that lend money to underserved entrepreneurs as well as community. If you're looking for someone to invest in your business, meaning you might have 100% ownership, or if you have a business partner and y'all split it 50-50, well, if you want to give up some of that equity and find an investor, these types of organizations will invest in your business. So I highly recommend that you look them up. Now, each of them have their different industries in which they focus on. So you really have to do your research to see if your type of business is one that they invest in. Grant opportunities. This is money you don't have to pay back. This is money that you do not have to give equity up in your company. Impact Ventures, I know they're on the equity side, but they also have grants, right? Founders First, they have grants that you can do. Texas Women's University, Center for Women Entrepreneurship, they have grants for women-owned businesses and veteran women-owned businesses. And if you're more in the high-tech, high-growth, the McKinney Innovation Fund, they offer some grants as well. So lots of resources. I don't want to hear anybody's ever say, I don't know where to go find funding, because as of today, you should know, right? And bam, here we go again. So unless you were asleep the last time I put this slide up, or maybe you went to the bathroom, took a call, here's your second opportunity to get access to funding. And simply scan the QR code. It doesn't cost you anything. You join the platform, you watch 2 of the courses or attend 2 of the events, you apply for the grant by June 28th. This is like a first come, first serve, so it's not guaranteed you'd get it, So the faster the faster you can complete these 2 courses or events and get your grant application in, the more chances you have to be selected to win a $10,000 grant. What would you do with $10,000, Jenny?
Let me count the ways. I have a book in my head that I would love to get out there, and I think $10,000 could get me started, right?
Yes, yes, me too. I actually have a book, my second book in my head, and I'm like, well, I need to find the time to write it. But then secondly, $10,000 will help me publish it.
That's why we both related to the time comment.
Yes, 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 for sure. So again, here's another funding opportunity for you. Another resource. So we talked about funding. Maybe again, you're at the idea stage, the launch stage, or the growth stage, and you just need help, right? You need hands-on guided help. Business accelerators and business incubators are the way to go. And here's a list of them. The ones that I have highlighted here on the left are from the deck. Actually, your startup is for businesses who are generating at least $10,000 to $50,000 in revenue. It really helps you to fine tune your business plan and get you ready for growth. Big idea. Obviously, if you're in the idea stage and you feel like you have this big idea, but you need that concept validated, that is one of the programs for you. So whole list of different accelerators on the right side. These are incubators. So if you think about an actual incubator, like when the egg is put in the incubator and then the lights are on it and then the egg hatches and the little chick goes out of the egg and goes into the world. And that's what these incubators are. It's really designed to really focus on a small group of entrepreneurs and just surround them with resources, surround them with wraparound services designed to help you outgrow your current space. And so these are some of the programs that are available here in the DFW area. Our 2 locations are the DEC Network at Redbird. We're in the shops at Redbird in South Oak Cliff. And then we have our Create Fort Worth location, which is on the south side of Fort Worth. And let's see, I think I have a couple more slides and I'm done, and then we can ask some questions. I talked about those certifying agencies. They're listed here. Minority Supplier Development Council. Highly recommend you get certified there if you're interested in doing business with corporations. Texas Hub. Hub is historically underutilized businesses. This is if you want to do business with state agencies, colleges, state universities, excuse me, DART, any type of state agency, you want to get certified. NCTRCA, North Central Texas Regional Certifying Agency. Again, local municipalities and school districts. The Women's Business Council Southwest. Again, this is focused on women business owners who are interested in doing business with corporate and government. Other programs, I mentioned Goldman Sachs. The SBA has a program called Thrive. Again, this program is for those making $100,000 or more. Dallas College has a program there. They have a venture club where you can go into their space and get services. Networking opportunities. The DEC hosts Dallas Startup Week. It's coming up in August. It is the largest event in North Texas. Last year, we had about 6,000 people attend the entire week. We had sessions on investing, getting investors, starting your business, marketing. We had a whole wellness day. We had a day for entrepreneurs of color. We had a day for women. So great resources there. Spark Yard. If you're in the Fort Worth area, Spark Yard Fort Worth is like an ecosystem resource. So if you're trying to figure out what is all available for entrepreneurs in Fort Worth, you want to go to Spark Yard. And I did mention there's a few national programs that, just for those that might be outside the DFW area. Mass Challenge has accelerators, Founders Institute. If you are really interested in getting investors, but you don't know how that process works, you want to get involved with Founders Institute. Y Combinator, again, this is for those high growth types of businesses who are looking for high growth investors. Techstars and Dev Inc. Again, accelerators, investors type of resources there. I think I've covered a lot, Jenny.
You have, and it's been amazing. I mean, I was taking some pictures of slides myself. This is great. And I love that you have the QR code up here, so that it sounds like people can, if they're local, get involved, right?
Yep, if you're local, you can definitely get involved. If you're interested in becoming a member at the DEC network, you can scan the left side there where it says memberships. If you just want to learn more about our programs that we have here and how they can help you, scan the middle QR code. And if you just want to get connected, you want to be part of all the events, you want to come network, you want to get connected to resources, sign up for our events newsletter. We send them out weekly with the different types of events that we host. So, Jenny, I think that's it. That's really all I have. Any questions?
Okay, good. Yes, somebody had asked, what's the difference between leaning into some of those resources that you mentioned for funding and grants and things like that, and getting an investor, going out and finding somebody to invest?
Yeah, so an investor is going to take a percentage of your company, so a ownership percentage of your company. So you really have to ask yourself, am I willing to give up ownership of my company? Because that percentage of what they are going to want really depends on how much you want them to invest in your company. So earlier today, I was talking to one of our members who is opening up her second yoga studio. And she's actually going to be like a wellness studio, yoga, chiropractic care, and all these things in there. And so she's like, I'm already debt financing the construction and build out, and I need a little bit more. Do I really want to go to an investor? Because if someone invests $200,000 to help her finish building it out, they're going to want a percentage of that business. So that's really the difference, is you're giving up equity in your business.
As opposed to just receiving the money or having to pay the money back.
Sorry, yes. As opposed to just getting the grant and you don't have to pay it back. A grant is not guaranteed. It's competitive. I mean, someone investing in your business is not guaranteed, but they might be more interested. And if if you're not able to raise the capital through grants and pitch competitions and things like that, having an investor might be the option.
It's one of the things to think about. What's the biggest mistake that you see entrepreneurs make?
One of the biggest mistakes I see entrepreneurs make is not understanding their financials. I get it. You don't have to be a CPA. You don't have to be an accountant. But if you're not having weekly meetings, depending on how your receivables are, but if you're not having weekly or monthly meetings with either your bookkeeper or your accountant to really understand how to manage your cash flow. So that's one of the mistakes I see, is they're not keeping track of their cash flow. Money coming in and money going out, because you're so busy working the business and you're generating money and you're like, oh, good, checks are coming in, invoices are coming in, credit cards are being swiped, but you're not really paying attention to what is going out and what your cash flow history looks like, right? So that's one of the big mistakes.
What is your best advice? That's great, to making that mentorship relationship a valuable one. I know that you mentioned like you've got to, do something for them, give back to them. How should somebody say, okay, we're going to talk weekly, we're going to talk monthly, we're going to, well, what does that look like?
Well, finding a mentor is very much like dating. You just got to find the right match. So I would say, take several people out to coffee, get to know them, get to know their background, their history. And then if you find someone who you feel like, hey, this would be a good mentor-mentee relationship, then you start to say, hey, listen, we've had coffee a few times. I love your background. Here's some of my challenges. I would love to know if you would mentor me. And really, it's up to you and that individual. But I have a mentor. We touch base once a month. Sometimes based on schedule, we do it virtually. But I highly encourage you to do it in person as much as possible. Because that's how you're going to really build that connection with them. So try to do it at least monthly, focus on building that relationship, and up front, set the expectation of how long, because this could be a formalized mentorship relationship or it could be informal. Right now, my mentor, it's a very informal. So we meet. It's not even on a regular schedule, right? It might be the second Monday or it might be the last Friday, but we try to get connected once a month.
Okay, you talked about getting certified for women and minority business owners. I know you said there's a fee once a year. What is that process like for somebody who's trying to figure out, like, is it worth it for me to do this?
Thank you for asking. I literally have gone through that process. I started a company 20 years ago, branded myself as the marketing lady, was helping businesses to start their business, market their business, get set up on social, web, and all that. And then there came to a point where I said, I want to shift out of working with the small business. I need bigger contracts in order to grow, right? And so I actually embarked upon getting certified with 2 of the certifying agencies that I mentioned. The easiest one is NCTRCA, North Central Texas Regional Certifying Agency. I put that in the slide. It's about a 90-day process. Their application it's a few pages. It's not that bad. You want to be prepared with having your financials. That's why I said if you're not meeting with your CPA or your bookkeeper once a week or once a month, you really don't know how you are financially until it's tax time, right? So you got to have your financials. You got to have all of your, legal entity paperwork together. So if you can't find your certification papers or your assumed name certificate, you got to start gathering that. So you want to have that. You want to have your tax returns because you're going to be filling out information about your business, and you're going to be filling financial information out, how much revenue you've generated over a 3 or 5 year period. And then once you submit that, they'll get back with you if there's some missing information, but it's about a 90-day process. For some of the certifying agencies that are focused on minority certification, they may ask you to submit your birth certificate because they want to show that on your birth certificate, it states that, you're in one of those minority ethnic groups. But again, the process is about 90 days. The good thing is each of the certifying agencies host workshops. They have people on site that will handhold you through that process.
I'd love to hear it. And listen, we've taken up the time, but you're going to be back next week. So we'll be back here.
Next Thursday, building your brand, growing your business. That's the next session that I'll be talking about. So I hope to see you there.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Thanks, Tarsha.
Bye.